Alright, we are in Lake Elsinore, about to turn into another local recreation destination of ours called Launch Pointe RV recreation destination. It's also a good fishing spot as well, from what I understand. So, getting past the enormous amount of traffic, the entrance is right here. Alright, so I just got to get checked in real quick, so stand by for a moment. So RVs are over there. You can park in a 15-minute spot right here just to go get checked in. If you can't tell, this is actually Halloween night when this was filmed. If you can't tell. Alright, so I'm all checked in. For this go around, we've stayed here many times before, but we ended up in spot 148. I almost forgot that there's a guy there. You gotta have your pass in the dash or you won't be allowed to go in, so. The campground is gated. In order to get in, you actually do need to scan a little key fob, which I will show you in just a second. You get a maximum of 2 per reservation. You cannot get more, so make sure you don't lose these. They look like this. You scan. This has also access to all the restrooms, all the facilities that you need. So you just simply scan it on the gate. Quiet hours are from 10 p.m. to 8 p.m. I'm sorry, 8 a.m. Excuse me. Everyone in your party is required to wear a wristband. So you have to wear it your entire time during the stay, or you may be asked to leave the park. There is a private beach, which we'll get to later on. There is a splash pad and a playground. And they also, during the holiday seasons, they'll have activities. And they kind of run through the whole thing with you on a map. They also, I'm not sure if this is every season, every day, or every weekend, but they host a little s'mores thing in the grass area, which I'll show you where that's at later. They also have a venue that you can rent for weddings, which is in the campground, but you don't have to be camping here in order to if you're going to let's say you're going to a reservation. Let's say if you're going to a wedding, excuse me. Speed limit through the campground is 5 miles an hour on all sections. Alright, so my family's getting backed in there. Looks like this section is, I don't know if they have any pull-through sites, but almost all of these are back in, so. So I'm going to park right in front of the motorhome, but I can't do that until they've finished. Alright, so a little bit of a disclaimer. This section of the video was shot the day after we checked in. I had gotten backed up and I couldn't find time to do the filming the night we checked in. So this is the next day. Everything is basically the same, so that shouldn't be a deal. We were in spot 148, but I'm going to go ahead and showcase the hookups and the basic setup on spot 147, since all my family's over there. I don't want to film them. And this is one of our friend's sites. So if you ignore all the stuff on the table, you usually get a bench, and then you have your hookups over here. This is actually our hookups for 148. I'm not sure if every spot has these hookups, but I'm not sure if they're different. They probably are. You would have to check the map for reference. So this device is ours. This is for our water connections. This is for the either the black or the brown tanks. I'm not quite sure, but you have sewer hookups, and then you have these Jamestown. Oops. This is our table we leaned against there. Our Jamestown hookups. They offer the light right here too at night, which is nice. So I believe there are 2 or 3 restroom facilities located within the RV section. There is I think a tent camping section, a spot for rentable cabins that have their own thing, but we're focusing strictly on the RV section. So each one of the facilities are this basic setup. We have 3 toilet rooms on this side. The far one is actually ADA compliant. And then 3 showers. One of them is probably also ADA compliant. Oh, it's also the far one. You can see it on the sign. So you also have sets of dumpsters and you can dump your excess trash in. There's multiple of these throughout the park. This is just one of them. Look at some of the other sites that are across from us. And then over there, that is the splash pad. I'm not going to get too close to it because I don't want to film all the kids that are over there, obviously. And this is the event center, the one I was talking about earlier in the video. So you have a back patio over there, which I obviously can't go up there and show. The most often instance of people renting this space out is for weddings. Actually, there was just one here yesterday when we stayed here. Numerous times I've seen weddings being hosted here. There you have a hall that you could probably use for a reception if you're doing a wedding. And since there's a directory map, we'll go ahead and give you a look at the map. There's another section of the patio on the side. And then this here is a open grass area. Now sometimes the staff here will host events, but oftentimes if you have groups of kids who want to play soccer or baseball or football, whatever you play, this would probably be a good spot. There's no reservations on this, so it's first come, first serve. And there is a couple parking spots, but most, if not all of these, are usually only for event parking. Event parking meaning for whoever rented this out. Over there is the playground. Obviously, I'm not going to get close to it. I already explained why. So the layout of this place, this is actually the center of the park, might be a good way to briefly show. So you have spots in this little square surrounding the park. Then you have that section in a little square pattern with spots surrounding the splash pad. Then there's that section which we're in right now, that little mini area. And that same little square design over there and over there behind the event building I just showed you. And that's it's a pretty basic setup. And when you go to the office, usually there's people there that are very helpful in telling you where you need to go when you check in. So this is Halloween weekend. Obviously I'm not sure if this is just decorations or something the staff was doing with the kids. I'm not sure what that is. Probably just a little probably just decor. I'd say it's very well done. Very nice. And this is another area where the staff hosts daytime activities for the kids or families. Usually, most of the time it's in that section, generally speaking. This is your office over here, and then you have a pool and spa over here. That can get crowded at times, so just like I said with the splash pad, bring your patience. This is the area where I was talking about if they do campfires and s'mores. Staff does them. It'd be this little fire pit right here. So now I'm going to walk over to where the restaurant is. It's not inside the RV park, but it's accessible from the RV park. I think this is under Launch Pointe's management, so it's not just a rented restaurant space. So this was the quote-unquote cabin section I was telling you about. So they actually have these little old-fashioned travel trailers. These are not people's trailers that they brought. These are actually a part of the campground. You can rent these out. You also have larger spaces and buildings available to rent on the other side, which you can actually find them on the Google Maps result and the website. But yeah, this is what you're looking at over here, the Vintage Village, as you just saw on that sign. Yeah, management here is definitely festive. says take a rock, paints a rock, and leave a rock. You can tell with any festivities, they tend to go as far as all out as they can. Yeah, another reason why I like this place so much, it's well ran, and it has very good management. I just saw this too. I've never seen this here on Halloween season or not. What the heck? Wow, that's cool. I've never seen this before. Oh, so this is part of... They also do scavenger hunts, too. Usually themed for different seasons. That's cool. Over there is the bait and tackle shop. And the restaurant is over there where all those RGB lights are. I believe they're doing karaoke tonight, which I'm obviously not going to film. But they do it inside the restaurant on the patio there. And this is the boat launch, which is probably just wrapping up operations at this time of the day. Not too certain on that, but that was just my assumption. These must be like day use thing. I've never seen these before. I wonder if they just added these. Oh no, this is the where you can play horseshoes. I remember the people in the office talking to me about this. So if you want to play horseshoes, they offer that here. And you're starting to get a glimpse over there of the private beach I was telling you about. And access is all the way down there, so they give me a minute to walk over to it, and I'll get you a glimpse of what you can see here. So this is the access road. Would you get? I'm not sure what the policy is on driving vehicles onto this, but I guess you could. So there is the actual boat launch area that's inside the water, and this is the private beach I was telling you about. Water level, the actual water treatment issues that the city of Lake Elsinore has had in recent years have gotten a lot better. It probably is safer to swim in here at the time this was shot than it was 3 or 5 years ago, but I still wouldn't. There's still a lot of contaminants in here. They have done, the city or whoever's treating the water here have done a decent job at cleaning the waters up, making it a little bit safer for people to be around, but I still wouldn't take the risk personally. But it has the potential to be a great lakeside destination, which is not far from the Inland Empire, and certainly not terribly far from the LA region too. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is for amenities that I have to show you. So let's go ahead and give you my final thoughts while we're standing here. This would be a good place to end the video. Yeah, this has been one of my favorite local destinations. The place is always well ran. They do have some rules. I can't run through all of them off the top of my head, but the rules are there to, you know, make the experience, you know, reduce the amount of disruptive guests and bad conduct that can occur. But the management isn't, the staff I've always talked to are very friendly. So yeah, while they do have some strict rules to ensure quality of the experience for everyone, they certainly are very helpful. They're not necessarily stuck-up old people per se, or just people who are stuck up and won't be friendly. They'll help you. You can also get ice from the front desk as well, bags of ice. I think they have either medium or large, but don't quote me on that. And I think they'll actually deliver it to your campsite if you have a campsite here. You just got to go order at the office, and then they'll bring it by golf cart to you. At least that's what it was. That's how it worked the last time I got ice here. Yeah, that's all I got. Thank you for watching. If there's anything else that I missed, I apologize, but I did my best. And that is it. Thank you for watching.